Welcome back to In Between Podcast. With Thanksgiving coming up, we're taking a moment to reflect on the little things that have made this year so special. In this episode, we're sharing 5 things we're truly thankful for, those small moments and unexpected blessings that have shaped our lives in meaningful ways. Join us as we take a pause to appreciate the big and small gifts of this season and how they've impacted us this year. Let's dive in.
Hello and welcome to In Between Podcast. We're your hosts, Celeste and Sarah. Today's episode is a fun episode about things that we're thankful for. It is Thanksgiving week, and so we thought we would just have fun naming 5 things that we're thankful for and sharing those with y'all.
I mean, what better way to start off this week by, celebrating and kind of taking the focus off of what we're going to eat this week and focus on what we are actually thankful for. Because, most of the time I feel like we are just too busy and too caught up in the daily of our lives that we can't sit down and be like, you know what, I'm actually thankful for these things.
Mm-hmm.
And so through these 5 things that we have both thought about, I think that these are our top, or these are my top things.
Mm-hmm.
And going over through this whole year of what has come and what is going to come. I think it's just my top 5 of my daily and how through my Christian life, how it has affected me and my thoughts and stuff. So I'm going to jump right into my number 1, or I guess my top 5. I'll just go ahead and do it.
Okay.
My number 1 is God's influence in my life. I'm very thankful that I guess the way that I was brought up and how I became a Christian, and just that He has such a big impact in my life now, because without that, it wouldn't drive my thoughts, the way, what I'm doing in my life, guiding my decision making. And so for that, I'm very thankful for just God's influence and how he directs my life, but how my thoughts wrap around Him rather than other things. Because I mean, what's the first thing that we do when we are thinking I need to change jobs, or oh, do I want my child doing this activity, after school activity or whatever? And it's I need to pray for that, or I need to, ask God what He thinks. I know that kind of sounds crazy, but it's kind of I mean, God is the center of my life, so that's what I'm going to do, right? Second is my family, obviously, my kids, Brinley and Shepherd, and then Nelson. I am very thankful for them. They are kind of like my rock. It's like coming home from work, even though I don't really work, but and that's the first thing you want to see. If that happened to me, that would be me. I would go and be like, my kids, So I'm very thankful for them being in my life, and me getting to be their mother, because I mean, I'm perfect for them, right?
Yeah.
They're perfect for me. So that's number 2. Number 3 is my community church friends, or church family friends, and Celeste. That's a lot, but that's in my number 3. Very important to have community and friends that you can talk to. And Celeste has been in my life for a really long time. And so very thankful for our friendship, and that we get to do, number 4, sorry, we get to do this podcast together. So the podcast is number 4. I think that God has put this in our hearts and our lives for us to grow and come closer to God. And that has been a life change for me. I feel like just a game changer. And I think another thing for the podcast is that I have been really enjoying talking about problems or issues of the world, and kind of bringing it out there from people who don't necessarily we don't have a big following, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's still nice to be able to do this and reach out to those people who may not, listen to other people, I guess. And along with number 4, having a flexible job where I can spend that time with my family when I need to, or do the things that I need to do to be a good mom and wife and all that stuff. And so my flexible job helps me with that. Number 5 is trusting God to guide me through everything, and like the little things that happen on my day to day, just thanking Him and trusting in Him that He's got it taken care of. And I'm just very thankful for that and how like big that is in my life, that like I can depend on Him, and I guess how strong my faith is, you know. But
Yeah.
that's all my things.
Yeah. Did you read my list before you came up with yours?
Okay, what do you take it? Okay, a little. Okay, I read it. I was like, when I was typing down the notes, I was like, what kind of notes? What is that? And then I saw that one, the last one,
Okay.
the little things one. Okay, maybe I did, but to be fair, I thought about it before, and I was like, I don't know if I should put that because that's silly. Like that's silly. But when you put it, I was like, maybe it's not so silly. So I am guilty, and I couldn't get it out of my head once I saw it on your paper.
Well, I was gonna say, I was like, we didn't read each other's list or talk about it, and then I was like, and we kind of have the same stuff on it, and so I was like, that's just funny. But apparently, you read my list.
Okay,
Okay.
well, to be fair, the family thing is kind of like a given.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah. I mean, the community and the pod, I feel like that's a given.
yeah. I guess.
And then God. So it's kind of like, we're like the same person.
Yeah, we really are. It's like no wonder we've been friends for so long.
Yeah.
We're the same person.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay, well, Sarah didn't ruin my list. She basically said it all. But yeah, my list, it really isn't in like order of like weight or anything of like what I'm most grateful for. I just wrote down 5 things I'm grateful for. But as my number one, I have my family, my husband, and my child, and we are really excited to announce that baby number 2 is on the way and will be here in March of 2025. So we've been keeping it a secret, and we're excited to finally announce it to media and all that stuff. So if you follow me, you'll also find out the gender of the baby, and so we're really excited and can't wait for March. So yeah, so definitely thankful for my family.
Funny thing is, I think it's funny and kind of weird at the same time, but like that our kids will both have like the same, like
Month.
Shepherd and Daniel have the same month, and then Brinley and this baby will have the same month, hopefully,
Yeah.
March. So
Yeah.
that's so cool.
I know. It's like we planned it that way or something.
Yeah, I know. What are the odds of that happening?
I don't know, honestly. It's kind of crazy if you really Okay, and so my number 2 is friends and community. Like I said at the beginning of this podcast season, I was really praying for a good community and a good group of friends. And we've been going to church and been getting plugged in, and Daniel's been able to find friends and stuff. So I'm continuing to pray for that and see where it goes. But I do see prayers being answered in this area, and I'm really thankful for that. Third is this podcast with my best friend. It's actually how I wrote it. It's like such a growing experience for me too, and like I really look forward to mine and Sarah's weekly meetings about talking about what the topic's going to be about the Bible verses, and like how we're going to present it and everything. And I mean, obviously to y'all, it just looks like 2 best friends just chit-chatting, and that's really how it feels to us. But we do try to put a lot of effort into it, and it really grows me a lot, and I feel like it grows Sarah the same, but it helps grow us towards God and our friendship a lot too, and keeps us centered and grounded on God. And so I'm just really enjoying this podcast experience. And like Sarah said, we don't really have like a big following or anything, but like we're just here for us, you know? Like,
Yeah.
we don't need like 1,000 followers or anything like that. Like we're kind of just doing it for us. And I told my husband, like, the only thing I do for me during the week is the podcast. Like, that's it. And I enjoy it so much, and I look forward to it. So That's number 3. Number 4 is I'm very thankful for the season that I'm in and I'm growing more with God. Kind of touched on that on like the podcast, like it's growing me, but like I can see how God's like molding me into a better like mom and wife. And I feel like these are prayers that I've been praying for a while of like, God, help me in this area, help me in this area. And I feel like growth is actually finally happening rather than just being like stagnant in it and wishing that it would happen. I feel like it's finally growing. And I'm like, oh, yay, like I see it now, And I'm just really thankful for that and really excited to keep growing with God. And 5, um, Sarah said the tiny things, but I'm thankful for the small blessings that God has shown me during this year. At the beginning of the year, I mean, we completely moved out of our state, completely left family, friends, everything. And like, it was scary and we didn't know how it was going to go. We didn't know anything. I mean, we were just like hoping for the best. And, God like kept on showing me like the little things to be thankful for. And now as I look back on this entire year, like I can see so much to be grateful for and see God's hand in so many situations. And it just like I couldn't be more thankful for his guidance and the way he has prepared mine and my husband's heart for this journey of this whole entire year. And so yeah, I'm just very grateful for all that.
Those
So
are so good. I was gonna hint on your, not hint, but like talk about your number 4, your growing part,
uh-huh.
right?
Yeah.
Um, it's so funny because like since we have been doing the podcast, like I think the one that has stuck with me the most has been the how to pray for your husbands and
Yeah.
how we read Proverbs 31.
Mhm.
And that one I think it was. And
Yeah.
like it's cool to see how like scripture is like being like implanted in my brain
Mhm.
more because like I'll just think about that verse when I hear about just like how to be a good like wife or whatever, and just like I know how to be a good wife. I don't know why that one has stuck with me so much, but I
Yeah.
feel like through that episode and like more episodes that like I've just been a better mom and a better wife, like you
Yeah.
said.
Yeah.
And that is so cool to see that transformation just in this short time of our podcast, and
Yeah.
the little things.
Yeah. I like this season where we're talking about like the fruits of the spirit, and I like
Yeah.
that each episode, we kind of like go back to that, and I think it was perfect that God placed it on our hearts that was like our theme verse, and I go back to that verse all the time,
Yeah.
like it's like what's coming out of me, like I know the scripture's in there, but like, am I actually letting it out in this moment?
Yeah.
Like frustration or anger or anything like that. Like, is what's coming out of me actually good? And I
Yeah.
think about that all the time.
No,
So
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. I would encourage anybody listening, like, to maybe spend some time and think about what you are thankful for and, like, try to see God's blessing even through, like, the stress of the holiday season because this week is going to be stressful because we're going to be traveling or, eating all the food, whatever we're going to be doing. Like, I feel like there's always some stress in the fun, in the
yeah,
things that you got to do with family and stuff. So find the little things that you are thankful for in this season and kind of just like dwell in that and let that rest in you. And then you'll probably have a better Thanksgiving and just kind of push all the stress aside this week as we're
yeah.
going into Thanksgiving.
Yeah. And like Sarah and I said, like the small or tiny blessings, like pray now and ask God to show you those tiny and small blessings around you. I mean, obviously our family, friends, houses, big things we're all thankful for. But I think it's really the small blessings of like every single day that you see God's hand in that like just make your heart more full of joy. And so like pray that God shows you those small things, especially throughout this week of Thanksgiving and being with our families and that sort of thing. So, yeah. All right. Well, thanks for listening to this episode about 5 things that we're thankful for. We hope y'all have a great Thanksgiving and continue to be a light towards your family. We would love to hear what you're thankful for, so please comment below or comment in our socials the 5 things or more that you're thankful for this week and this past year. We'll see you next week for another great episode.
Thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode of In Between Podcast. We hope you're feeling inspired to reflect on your own blessings, big and small, as we head into Thanksgiving. Don't forget to like, share, and comment below. We love to hear what you're thankful for this week. As we close, let's be in prayer with God, thanking Him for everything He's done, even the little things we often overlook, and ask Him to help us see the blessings, especially in the midst of life's chaos. Stay blessed, and we'll see you next time.